So Ring of Honor Supercards 12, which took place also on the Saturday. I think it was just before WrestleMania, same night as
same night TKO.
Indeed, yeah. So, but all things considered, like it still drew a record crowd for them, 6,000 people. So so their biggest crowd in their history, like, and it was an awesome show, like, you know, like overall I enjoyed it. So like you haven't seen much of it yourself, but like it was pretty awesome.
I've seen the first half, and from what I've seen in the first half with Punishment Martinez and against Tomohiro Ishii, despite the match being short, it was still fantastic.
Indeed.
Then of course the Bucks with their 6-man ladder match against the SoCal Uncensored, unbelievable. What other matches did I say? Sorry, Hangman Page, of course, against Kota Ibushi.
Yeah,
some absolutely fantastic matches. I still plan to sit down. Obviously, from seeing the Being the Elite post, I saw that of course Cody beat Kenny after the Young Bucks mistakenly, you could say, kicked Kenny instead of Cody.
I think it was a mistake anyway.
Or was it all the plan at the start?
Well, either that or they're very good actors.
We'll have to find out.
We'll just get to the full card anyway. Well, first of all, they had their Women of Honor tournament semi-finals to decide their first ever champion. They had Kelly Klein defeat Maru Iwatani in one semi-final, and Sami Sakai, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, beat Tennille Dashwood, who was seen as a heavy favourite going into this. So set up for the final. Both those matches were on Facebook, so they weren't shown, or I didn't see them anyway. And they had then a photo up between Klein and Sakai, but like Klein cheap shot Sakai afterwards, so it let a bit of heat go into the match. Jonathan Gresham took on Chucky T 1-on-1. It was a good back and forth match. Like, both worked well together, kept the crowds going. It was a lot of fun. In the end, it was Gresham who answered back with a series of rights from Chucky T. He attacked with the knee, then Chucky hit Soul Food. I'm not sure what that move is, but then Gresham got countered back with a Tornado DDT before Chucky rolled him up for the win. There it was a good opening match. As you mentioned, Tomohiro Ishii took on Punishment Martinez. This was actually a very good match, very hard hitting. Like Martinez, it's a massive win for him. Like, that really pushes him up towards, for me, the top stars now in Ring of Honor at the moment, because he's beaten one of the toughest men in the world at the moment, certainly in pro wrestling. Like, when we look at Tomohiro Ishii, he was one of, certainly up there with the best brawlers in wrestling with his style. Like, and to not only come back but take him down to it, like, goes to show you. So Ishii hit him with the lariat on the rebounds, covering for 2. Martinez then fights off the brainbuster, hits a lariat for 2. Then trade kicks until Martinez finished him off with his Sound of Heaven chokeslam, which I think is like a normal chokeslam, but it's like a backbreaker. Yeah, something similar to that. I love Punishment Martinez. I'd love to see more of him in the future for sure. Now, probably one of the better matches of the show, Hangman Page against Kota Ibushi, which of course is continuing on the civil war, or at least the rivalry, or all the goings on inside the Bullet Club. Some really good spots though. That's one occasion where Page cuts off the golden triangle and slams Ibushi into the barricades, but then almost kills Page with the German off the barricades. Remember that?
Landed right on top of his head.
Fair play to him.
Jesus.
Oh god. In the end though, it was a great back and forth match. Really great, fantastic performance from Adam Page, like Hangman Page.
Yeah.
It was like, for me, like, he's the way he's going at the moment, he's probably the breakout star in world wrestling at the moment, or certainly one of them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to outshine the likes of the Bucks and Cody and stuff like that, but his match quality, he's definitely doing that.
But by God, he's trying.
Yeah.
Like, even if he doesn't get to that level, he is knocking on the door for it. Like, so. So, and no, it was a great fun. The match were really into it. In the end, it was they light each other up and kept challenging each other to throw. It was Page who finally dropped Ibushi with a rolling elbow, but then Ibushi fired back with a head kick. Ibushi hit the power bomb, but Page kicked out. Then the straight jacket German and the knee strike finished off Page for the win for that. Now the final then for the first to decide the first ever Woman of Honor champion, and it started like almost straight away. Like, it was Sakai who was actually really angry over the whole attack last time and attacked her straight off the bat, looking for revenge. It was good. Like, it was a good match. Like, the only thing I'll say is that the finish seemed a bit strange. What happened was Klein laid in strikes, but Sakai hit a fisherman buster. She had him top and went for a moonsault, but it sort of grazed Klein, and then had a DDT following for the win. So it seemed like a wee bit of a weird finish, but
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like, it was still a good match. I felt the crowd could have been more invested, considering it's a first ever championship. But maybe they can.
I think it was just it was unfortunate. It was a match that was just caught in the shuffle of a load of bigger matches.
I don't think it was that. It was like, it was a bit lost in it, but I'm not sure if the placement in the placements in the card had anything to do with it, though.
Yeah, I think it was having to follow the Kota Ibushi match and Hangman Page.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think that suffered. I think it suffered because of that.
That's good points. SoCal Uncensored, the team of Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels took on the team of Flip Gordon and the Young Bucks for the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles in a ladder match. Come here, I have to ask you about this. Do you think it's weird, though, the way they presented this match? Rather than having, you know how you have for the tag titles, you have both titles up ahead in the rafters. For this 6-man tag, they only had one title instead of all three of them. Does that take away the mystique of it a wee bit for you?
Nope, not for me.
No,
doesn't for me. I always find it weird with, especially tag team title matches where they'd have two titles on it. I think all you need to do is take a title off, and then the title should be yours. I think having all three hanging there would just be unnecessary as well, because you would have to take all three off, and it's just in terms of finishing.
So what you're saying is it's more of an inconvenience.
Yeah, like if you wanted to run the angle where you need to take, like if you want to run the angle where the rule is you have to take all three belts, or if it's a tag team, all two belts.
Right.
And if you want to run the angle where one team takes one and one team takes the other, then that's interesting. But when it's just one team is going to win straight out, yeah, just take. You have the other two titles at the side there. Just take the title. One title. That's all you need. It's fine.
It was an excellent match, though. Great teases, really good bumps. Great, all the teams worked very well in this match.
Yeah.
It felt like I really felt like the only thing I'll say about this match, though, is that as good as it was, you feel the interference from the Kingdom spoiled it just a wee bit.
Continued interference, yes. The initial interference, no.
Okay. Yeah, and certainly it leads into interesting stuff going down the line anyway, like, you know, so. But again, like it continues, like the rivalry between the Bucks and the Daniels and Kaz. Their rivalry goes way back, like a Ring of Honor, like, so it continues that story very well. And it shows that, like, that sort of match, like a ladder match, is perfect for those types of teams because you know each other so well.
Yeah.
So any sort of interactions is almost effortless to them at this stage, like, you know, so it was an awesome match. Some really good spots in particular included where Nick joined in the cease and desist in the ladder, where when Matt had a sharpshooter, and then he was caught between the ladder, and then Daniels cut off Flip and attacked the butts with ladder shots. Like, one of my favourite spots, I think, was when Nick hopped from one ladder to another, and then dived on the floor. Now, that was one of the spots of the whole weekends for me, like, you know, so. And the Bucks then climbed, but then that's when the Kingdom then arrived. Then what else happens? Then the 450s on the Kingdom members through the tables. Remember that?
Yeah.
And that bump.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to mention that the bump that Flip took on top of the ladder, where he touched
where he got his leg taken out, smacked his face off the ladder, and then
beautifully
fell.
Done.
Brilliant.
Beautifully done. In the end, though, it was Matt who knocked Daniels to the mats, but Daniels toppled over the ladder, sending Matt flying off onto the table, where another Kingdom member was, and then that led to Daniels climbing up and retaining. But then Matt Taven from the Kingdom then attacked post match and stole the titles. Off they went.
Yep.
To fight another day.
Who do you think they are? CM Punk?
Well, it's not their belts. That's the worst part about it. The Briscoes then took on Jay Lethal and Hiroshi Tanahashi for the ROH tag team titles. It was a good match.
The Briscoes have been in a little bit of hot water recently.
What is that?
There was something about them at a UK event.
Oh, I heard about this, yeah.
And supposedly they took a rainbow flag off someone who had it in the crowd.
Is that right?
Yeah. Upset a lot of people. Obviously, rightly enough. You know? Wrestling's meant to be for everyone, lads.
Yeah, indeed.
You know? Ask Finn.
There's little doubt about the Briscoes winning this match, to be fair. Like, but what I loved about this match is that they did a really hell of a job making us think that the titles could change. That's where I think the beauty of this match comes in. Some great jam at the closing stretch, but it made sense for the Briscoes to win. In the end, it was where Tanahashi hit a planta on. Where no, it was who hit who? What? No, Lethal hit the lethal injection for a right near fall. The crowds were awesome there. Then Mark Briscoe and Tanahashi brawled. Then Lethal slammed into Tanahashi and Jay hit a German on Lethal, and Doomsday Device finished off Jay Lethal there. Now Silas Young, which is his theme song in the background here, against Kenny King in a Ring of Honor TV title Last Man Standing match. Actually, before this match started, Austin Aries arrived. Said he's here because he wants the TV title, because he's a two-time Ring of Honor World Champion back in his indie days, and it's the only title of Ring of Honor he hasn't got. He never had a reign on, and so he wants to match whoever won over, and he decides to return to his career away from his career as commentary, joining Colt Cabana and I forget the other guy's name, Ian Ruckus something.
Okay, Rockefort, is it? Is it Rockefort?
No. It sounds like an Italian name. I can't remember whether live for me what it was. But no, this was a good match. Like, it worked. Like, both worked very hard. Like, for this match, and it was pretty cool. The only thing is, though, like the way it finished, though, it seems to be divided in opinion. The way it finished, where King headed on top and hit a shooting star press through a table, which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
But then the Beer City Bruiser tied Kenny King's feet together and led to Silas Young winning. Now, is that a weird way to finish a last man standing match, or is it an incredibly intelligent way to win?
Oh, intelligent for sure.
I've never seen a last man standing match end that way.
It's the right way to do it. Like, you have to get back on your feet. You tie the feet, you can't get back on your feet.
It's clever in a way, isn't it? Post match then, Young and Bruiser then attack post match, but then Aries made the save, so it could lead to Silas Young now against Austin Aries in the future. So that's a match for me.
It's a good match. I'm definitely in favour of that match.
Now, in a bit of an impromptu match, Cheeseburger with I don't know what the name of his partner was actually, was supposed to take on the Dogs.
Was it Vegan Burger?
Is that his name?
I don't know.
Oh, I forget what the name of his
Maybe in Chicken Burger.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened to it was a guy called Izom or something like that. I don't know his name, but anyway, what happened was they brawled before the bell where the Dogs destroyed his tag team partner, and then Bully Ray arrived. And then Bully cut a promo deciding to do his job, where he said if Burger can't find a partner, then the match is cancelled. Then Cheeseburger asked Bully if he wanted to be his partner, and they run wild, and then Cheeseburger and it looks like they're going to do the WhatsApp, and they did the WhatsApp thing where they did with the Dudleys. But then Bully Ray turned on Cheeseburger and chokeslammed him before he went on a massive rant then, saying that Cheeseburger is what's wrong with wrestling. He's basically being the bitter veteran sort of guy, like, you know. And he ran down guys like Will Ospreay, Flip Gordon, and Ricochet, saying like that they're the type of guys that are wrong for wrestling. Then Joe Koff, who's the CEO of Ring of Honor, showed up, and Bully rang him down by hiring guys like Cheeseburger and said that he won't do anything until Flip Gordon arrives, and then Bully threatens to pile drive Cheeseburger if he goes anywhere near him. Bully then puts on his Hall of Fame ring and looks happy with himself before powerbombing Cheeseburger and leaving.
Good.
What? Why? Like, it's the best way I can put this whole thing. Bully never turned down a cheeseburger in his life.
Wow.
It's an interesting segment, though. Like, but is it, considering that Bully Ray is almost at the end of his run in wrestling in general?
Yeah.
Is this kind of a way he wants to go out with like a ton of heat, like as a bit of a veteran? It's kind of weird to me.
Well, he, as a single one, he was the heel and always had like heelish tendencies and stuff. So yeah, why not?
I suppose
go out in the way he wants. That's the thing.
Probably one of the most anticipated matches, certainly from an indie perspective, the most anticipated match of this whole weekend. Cody versus Kenny Omega. Kenny flanked with Brandy, the Police, and Bernard the Business Bear. What of gods. Straight at the very start of the match, Kenny kicked him to the floor, looked to rise in the Terminator, but the bear trapped him. Then Kenny took out the bear, allowing Cody to attack, and then the ref tossed the bear away, and then Cody took control from there. I never actually seen who it was in the end. this was a good match, but do you feel it delivered overall, considering the storyline going into it? Oh yeah, of course.
I haven't seen it. I think it's leading on to more.
It definitely is. It has to.
I think they're definitely gonna have a loser leaves Bullet Club match.
It has to,
for sure.
But the way I see it as well, like it was a good match, but it felt more of a work. Remember we talked about WrestleMania last year when Jericho and Owens, which was expecting to be the best match of that whole WrestleMania, ended up being sort of a professional type of match, a worked match, so to speak. This is sort of like what this is. It plays well to the storylines very well, especially with the angle with the Bucks as well, where which I think came in at the right stage as well. But like it's interesting, like, you know, it's like there's so many good spots to think about. Like one of the big ones obviously where Brandy was at the apron trying to distract Omega, but then Omega fights back and Cody moves and V triggers her off the apron to a table, which is like the best bump ever.
Yeah, similar to Triple H doing it to Stephanie last year.
It's very similar, except she literally jumped instead of falling.
Yeah.
Who came out then to save Brandy? Take a guess.
Flip.
Indeed, Flip Gordon helped her out, sending her to the back. It's more on the B and D Elite. Do you see the last B and D Elite?
Yes.
Well, yeah. So it's basically following more on that.
Yeah.
Cody then hits the V later on. It's a V trigger for 2, another V trigger, and then the winging angel countered into a vertebreaker, which is like one of the rarest moves you see nowadays because it's so dangerous.
I did see that going around. It's crazy.
The Young Bucks shortly arrive. Super kick Omega as Cody moved. They effed up and they know it, and then Cody finished off with the Crossroads. Do you think, though, another thing I'd like to bring up is the way Cody is at the moment? You know, like, this should be like, do you feel in terms of the way he is now as a wrestler, he's at that right stage to make this rivalry work compared to Omega, who's one of the best wrestlers in the world, bar none?
Yeah.
Do you think Cody is anywhere near that level at the moment, despite the storyline going forwards?
How do you mean? Like,
so, like, you know, for this sort of match, Cody's trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to almost claim superiority, leadership, if you like, in the Bullet Club.
This is all part of his master plan to gain leadership of the Bullet Club.
Now, do you expect more from him as a result of that, or is what he's doing good enough?
He's going to have to take it up a gear after what happened at the end of the Being the Elite episode, where he was by himself. So it's interesting what he'll do next. Like I said, it's all going to culminate in a loser leaves Bullet Club match. How we get to that, though,
the stage right now is the feud. The whole feud is perfect the way it is right now. Though. The way it is right now is awesome.
Yeah, the Marty Scurll thing is interesting.
It is. We're just going to get onto that now, actually, as well. Where Dalton Castle was defended his Ring of Honor title against Marty Scurll. And it was a good match. Like, you know, the only thing I'll say about this match as well, though, is that do you feel that the whole energy from Kenny and Cody might have taken away from this match, possibly?
I would have thought that for sure.
I hate to be critical about it, but like it's because they tried their best, like, you know, but I don't know, like, it just seems like even the best wrestlers can say poor scripts, you know, sort of way.
I think for sure that that's one of the things that would have definitely happened because this match was so hyped. I think if it was the other way around, I think it would have worked better. We would have had the crowd into it more if the main event was Cody against Kenny. And I don't know why they didn't go for it.
I was thinking, like, I was a bit surprised when it didn't come up as good main events.
I guess they want to stick to the tradition that the title goes out last.
I respect that, to be honest with you.
I do, but there's no problem.
But sometimes
there's no problem with putting the other match last because sometimes, and we do see it happen, we do see it happen everywhere. Sometimes,
especially in WWE,
the main event, or I should say, not the main event. Sorry. Sometimes a rivalry that doesn't involve the title is bigger than the title itself. We saw it in NXT.
Great example. NXT with Gargano and Ciampa, which is far more compelling. As good as intriguing as Black and Almas was, it's a way more intriguing rivalry. So, like, you know, as much as we want to see Almas and Black as main events, it's too intriguing to see what's going to happen between Gargano and Ciampa, like, for that rivalry. So it's like, we can't just take that away. So it was a good match, though, I have to say. Like, there were some interesting spots with this match is that Nick Aldis was at ringside, NWA World Champion, and he had something to Marty. It looked like clippers as Marty undid the buckle pads.
Yeah.
Like, other good spots is where Castle rolled back in and Larry got powder, and Castle kicked it in his eyes, and Marty was blinded and ended up breaking the ref's fingers. Both his fingers, and he tried counting after a brainbuster, but he couldn't. It's like 1, ow, no, so we need a new referee, and that's like such a brilliant way to not lose a match, because I think it was it was a brainbuster from Marty, but he couldn't win because of basically he broke the fingers of the ref completely by accident. But there you go. So certainly to take away from that, like a lot is, it seems like there's still a lot of more intriguing, and I'm glad that it goes beyond WrestleMania as well, or WrestleMania weekend, which to be honest isn't their hill to die on. Yeah. So it makes more sense that they go on. So it's definitely intriguing.
Oh, it was a great crowd. I did feel a little sorry for them, for people who wanted to watch the event, in terms of having to go up against a takeover. Was pretty unfair for them, and you know, what a takeover it was.